This truck looks like a Wrangler, but what if I told you it's hiding something way more aggressive under the surface? Because the 2026 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Truck isn't just another off-road toy. This thing is built to dominate terrain most trucks wouldn't even attempt. And today, we're putting it through a brutal test to see if it actually deserves the hype, or if it's just another overpromised Jeep. Now first, let's talk about the design, because Jeep didn't play it safe here. At a glance, yeah. It still has that classic Wrangler DNA. Boxy shape, round headlights, bold grille, everything you expect. But the moment you look closer, you realize this isn't your standard SUV anymore. The extended truck bed completely changes the stance. It looks longer, tougher, more purposeful. This is no longer just about adventure. This is about utility meeting hardcore off-road capability. Up front, you're getting an even more aggressive bumper design, improved approach angles, and heavy-duty skid plates that actually mean business. This thing is ready to take hits. And those massive all-terrain tires? They're not just for looks. Paired with high ground clearance and upgraded suspension, this truck is built to crawl over rocks, tear through mud, and handle brutal trails without hesitation. Now move to the side, and you'll notice reinforced wheel arches and stronger body lines. Jeep clearly focused on durability here. This isn't designed for city comfort. It's designed to survive punishment. And then there's the rear, where things get interesting. The truck bed isn't just added for style. It's functional, rugged, and designed for real-world use. Whether you're hauling gear, tools, or heading deep into the wild, this setup actually makes sense. But here's the real question. Does adding a truck bed ruin the Wrangler's balance and off-road capability? Because that's where most SUV to truck conversions fail. They look good, but once you take them off-road, they struggle. And that's exactly what we're going to find out in this brutal test. Because in the next part, we're not just talking specs. We're taking this machine where it truly belongs, on rough terrain, steep climbs, and conditions that expose every weakness. And trust me, what happens next might surprise you. Now we take it off the pavement, because this is where the 2026 Wrangler Rubicon Truck either proves itself or falls apart. The moment you leave the road, you can feel the difference. That extended body we talked about earlier, you'd expect it to hurt maneuverability, especially on tight trails. But surprisingly, it doesn't feel clumsy. Jeep has clearly reworked the suspension and weight distribution because this thing stays composed even when the terrain gets unpredictable. Now we pushed it straight into rocky terrain first. Sharp edges, uneven surfaces, the kind of trail that usually exposes weak underbodies. But those heavy-duty skid plates, they take the hits without drama. And thanks to the high ground clearance, you're not constantly worrying about scraping the bottom. Then comes the real test, articulation. As the truck starts crawling over larger rocks, one wheel lifts, then another, but it keeps moving. Slow, controlled, almost effortless. That's where the Rubicon setup really shines. You've got locking differentials, solid axles, and a low-range gearbox that gives you complete control. This isn't speed. This is precision. And even with the added truck bed, it doesn't lose that signature Wrangler capability. Now let's talk about power because this matters. Under the hood, you're likely getting a strong engine lineup and it shows. The torque delivery is smooth, consistent, and exactly what you need for off-road driving. No sudden jerks, no hesitation. Just controlled power when you need it. Climbing steep inclines? No problem. The truck doesn't feel like it's struggling. It feels planted, confident, like it knows exactly what it's doing. And then we pushed it further, into mud. Deep, sticky, wheel-spinning mud. This is where most trucks start losing traction. But here, the system kicks in perfectly. The tires bite, the drivetrain adjusts, and it pulls through without panic. But let's be honest, it's not perfect, that longer wheelbase. You do feel it in tighter turns. It's not as nimble as a standard Wrangler. You have to be more deliberate with your steering. And if you're someone who loves extreme rock crawling in very tight spaces, that's something you'll notice. But here's the thing, for a pickup conversion, this level of off-road performance is seriously impressive. It doesn't just survive tough conditions, it handles them with confidence. So the big question now is, after all this capability, does it actually make sense as a complete package? Because in the next part, we're going beyond the trails. We're talking comfort, daily usability, pricing, and the honest verdict. And this is where things might change completely. Now here's where everything comes together. Because a truck like this can't just be good off-road. It has to make sense in the real world too. So let's talk about daily usability. The moment you get back on the road, you notice it immediately. it still feels like a Wrangler. That means you're getting that upright driving position, great visibility, and a sense of control that a lot of modern trucks just don't have. But at the same time, it's not trying to be a luxury cruiser. The ride is firm, you'll feel bumps, and at higher speeds, it's not the quietest cabin out there. So if you're expecting smooth SUV-like comfort, this isn't that. But that's not what this truck is built for. Inside, though, Jeep has stepped things up. You're getting a modern infotainment system, a clean digital display, and all the essential features you actually need. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything is here. The materials feel durable more than premium. And honestly, that fits the character of this truck perfectly. This is built to be used, not just admired. Now let's talk about the truck bed, because this is a big part of the appeal. It's practical. You can throw in gear, tools, camping equipment, whatever you need. And for a lot of buyers, that added utility makes this way more versatile than a standard Wrangler. But again, there's a trade-off. That extra length makes parking a bit more challenging, especially in tight city spaces. It's something you'll have to get used to. Now comes the big question: price. While exact numbers will depend on trims and options, expect this to sit on the higher end of the Wrangler lineup. And that raises a serious point. Because at that price, you're entering territory where there are other capable trucks with better on-road comfort. So the decision really comes down to this: do you want a traditional pickup? Or do you want something that's built for extreme adventure? Because this Jeep isn't trying to compete with everyday trucks. It's built for a specific kind of driver, someone who actually goes off-road, who values capability over comfort, and who wants something that stands out. So here's the honest verdict. The 2026 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Truck is not perfect. It's less nimble than a standard Wrangler. It's not the most comfortable daily driver, and it asks a premium price. But when it comes to raw off-road capability, combined with real utility, it delivers. This isn't just a Wrangler with a bed. It's a serious machine, built for people who don't stay on the road. And if that's you, this might be exactly what you've been waiting for.